So it's pissing down raining, so I'm doing this quickly, but that is our new home for Belize. We're gonna drive her down while our house is being built.
All right, so we had been looking for a while to try and find a Class A motorhome because we want to leave and go earlier to Belize and our house won't be ready yet. So our thought process was to buy a motorhome that we could drive down and camp essentially until our house is done, and then that way we can also work on the land and our bridge. We found this Class A diesel Coachman Catalina. We got it for a snag of a price. This man that we bought it off of was buying them and fixing them up, and then he was flipping them. So we found this one way up on top of Blue Mountain, went and picked it up, and we kind of fell in love with it. Just felt like home. It felt right. All we really needed to do was cosmetic things. It had just had a major mechanical upgrade. I shouldn't say major mechanical upgrade. It had quite a bit of work on it the last time it was safetied, so we knew it would still be really good underneath. We crawled underneath anyways to take a good look, and really all that really needed to be done, and not even really needed to be done, where the airbags, which are the stabilizers, had a few weathered cracks because it is a 1996. So we had to find the parts in the States and we'll have them shipped up to us. Alright, so we knew we were going to have to paint the outside and do some epoxy repairs to cracks due to weather damage and such. So these were the two paints we decided to go to use for external and internal. We knew we were going to rip up the filthy, disgusting carpet, so we used these products here. These were the paint colors we decided to go through with Bear. And then I knew I was going to rip out most of the upholstery or just cover it, and these were the fabrics at Len's Mill store that I got. So the inside had a bit of old weather damage that looked like maybe it just had maybe a handful of rainfalls inside on the walls, and they had since been fixed. There was no mold, just dry rot wood. So our plan was to rip this out. We ripped out the carpet, and we're going to cover the walls with the peel and stick tile floors that we were going to put on the floor, which is a vinyl. So we ripped this out. We sprayed it with a mold killer just to be safe because I am really allergic to mold. And everything was hard, so we knew that it was okay. So we just decided to cover the top with a different color of flooring that we put on the actual floor. So we ripped all of this junk out. And then we decided we were going to paint everything white to make it fresh, airy, and clean. So the next thing was to label all of the doors so I knew which one was going back on, just in case there were sizing differences. And pull off the doors. As you can see here, I had them all labeled. I pulled off the hardware and we sprayed that black. And then that way it was just easier to put everything back on. When I took the doors off to paint the faces of them, I put the sticker on the inside. These were all covered. I took that off as well. And here we go with the process of removing the doors. A few times removing the hardware, I did almost scalp my knuckles because the screws were really filthy and grungy and stuck, and then they would eventually finally let go and hit me in the hand. So that didn't feel the greatest. So here we are starting to rip out the carpet. We ended up just pulling out the furnace vents and spraying them black. Because it is a mobile home, they are smaller RV size. So rather than just being able to go to a motorhome store and get new ones because we weren't sure about the sizing, we just decided to spray paint them, and they look fabulous. The roof was in really good shape, but we decided to get this product just to cover it because it was looking a little bit old for the membrane. There were no leaks from the roof, but this Canadian product here did a really good job covering the entire roof. It only took the one can of it, went on super easy. We originally ordered the white one, but Amazon sent us black, and instead of just going through the rigmarole of resending it back and getting a new one and all of that jazz, we just decided to go with black. And the reason why we wanted the white is because it would reflect the sun rather than the black. Now it was time to start the horrible job outside of it. We had originally thought to scrape off the decals, and we realized that it was a nightmare of a job because of how old it was and how sun damaged it had been. So we tried a heat gun, we tried scraping it, we tried alcohol, we tried all three, and then we finally decided enough was enough. We gave up. This would have taken months to get off, because at least it felt like that, because they were so old. So we just painted over it. I sanded them down beforehand just to kind of take some of the filth and ledge off of them. And for the most part now, when it's painted over, you can't really tell. There are certain spots that had a bit more of a ledge than others that you can see through the paint a bit. But we think it looks great and we're happy with it. Miss Ava was a huge help with all of this, and anytime I could get her to help, she was willing and able. After we sanded down the entire outside of the motorhome, we decided to clean it with dish soap, Dawn dish soap, and then we wiped alcohol on it after to make sure it was good, sticky, and clean, so we could put the paint on and guarantee that the paint was going to stick. We bought it knowing we had some cracks and bumps to fill, so we bought this epoxy kit a few times, and as you can see here, we mixed it together and we mixed it with the marine epoxy. That's why it's got the gray tinge, and we filled the cracks and the holes with it, let it dry, and then we sanded it down to paint it. Now it was my favorite part, which was painting the outside. We used this green color and the black behind it. We taped off a line to do the bottom black so that it wouldn't be just some overwhelming green machine. And we started with the black, and then we moved on to the green, and then we did touch-ups after. This was the applying the green, and then I had to go around and cut in. We also forgot the sander at this point, so we had to paint around those and then come back another day with that, because we were doing this at Matt's dad's house, not at our house, and we lived about 40 minutes away. So here I was finally cutting in, doing all the hard trim pieces. This was the day we ended up bringing the sander back. As you can see, we had sanded down all the epoxy to make it smooth. There's Matt working hard, sanding down the back bumper piece. It really was an easy job. It may seem like it was a lot of work, but I had epoxied the floor at our house we had just sold, so working with epoxy for me was easy. This was my second time. My mom even came out and helped seal some things and helped paint. Here we were doing the final touches. This back piece underneath me there, it looks like one of the original owners had hit something and caused some damage, so we filled it with quite a bit of epoxy, and it looks fabulous now, and you would never know the difference. The stairs there and the door that you see and all of the vents, those were all spray painted, because we wanted to make sure they were going to really stick to the metal, where the paint that we bought was for like plastic siding. So it was time to get back inside and work. So here we are removing some screws from an extension cord they had. Alright, so I removed all of the hardware from the cabinets and decided to spray them flat black. They look fabulous now. It was a bit of a windy day, so Matt took the old bed headboard, held it up there for me so I wouldn't get dirt. And I eventually, after our first coat, I decided to take them off the plastic I had and put them on the actual headboard because when they dry, they got stuck to the plastic. So when I put them on the wood and would paint them, they just popped right off and didn't stick to the plastic at all. Worked so much better.
Okay, here I am at the end of another day. I've got another coat of paint on. It's taking a lot, but that's okay. I knew it would. I finished the wall. Well, I didn't finish it. Finished the easy part of the wall. Now I just have to make these funny cuts in here as well. And then that part will be done. And then over here, I've almost finished this side too. Done my little rig job there, holding it up to the wall. Because of the water damage, it's a little bit wavy, so it doesn't want to stick that great, so I've had to really glue it on. But this side is almost done too. The horrible couch is back in the way. And then I just have to do another coat of paint, and then the cabinet doors, and then obviously all of the reupholstering, and then it's pretty much done. And then we will start laying our new flooring probably next week because we are only doing it on our days off. But yeah, there it is, the end of another day.
All right, so this was the flooring we decided to go with. Worked really great. We originally had one and had to return it. It was a peel and stick, however, we added more glue to it because we wanted to make sure it would really stick in the humidity and the heat. So we chose this honey color for the walls, and we did a gray on the floor. It worked great, highly recommend it.
What are you doing?
Painting the cabinets,
Very good.
but we might need to do a second coat on this one.
That's okay.
Then we started the floor. This was super easy to do. Again, we did a gray on the floor so that it was separate from the walls. Got the hardware all up on the cabinets and those done. And here's just a video of us doing the cuts. This was a little bit more tricky because not everything was squared. However, cutting the actual tile floor, I shouldn't say tiled, but they're like a tile, but they're vinyl, was really easy. You just score it with an X-Acto knife and then just snap it. Worked really good. We really recommend it. Just get a glue to add to it.
Okay, with many curse words said, I got the bottom panel done and the arm. This is the fabric to cover this part that I have to rig up. So I have to take that home now and sew Velcro that's gonna go lengthways underneath to wrap it around and attach it from one end to the other end because there's nothing to staple it to. And that goes down, so I need to have flexibility. So that will be tonight's job. And I'm quite happy with it, other than it's not finished. Now I just need to do this hideous chair and those two chairs. Wish me luck, folks. Okay, here we go. Starting this badass bitch. I probably shouldn't have said that because that might get me in trouble with YouTube. But I do swear a lot. And sometimes they just come out. I'm going to cut this lovely skirt off. I've come to the conclusion that I really hate reupholstering vehicle or mobile home furniture because none of it's wood. It's all steel framed, which great. I'd much rather be safe, but it's really been it to get any of it done. So all of the experience I've had with reupholstering other furniture that was home furniture is just gone right out the window. But I'm gonna keep going because I really hate this green, blue, whatever you want to call it. It's hideous. That's what I'm calling it.
For my mental health, I decided to take a break and do the bathroom shower head. Super easy attachment, and it worked great. This was a Moan product. It was originally made for a regular shower. This attachment obviously didn't work, so I kept it in the cabinet in case we decided to take it off and use it in our house when our house is done. Just attached there, and then I just had to set it in the little holder that was already there. Then I took a break and decided to do the trim on the fridge and spray paint that, and I spray painted the range hood as well from the horrible cream color.
Just leaving the Lens Mill store where I get our fabric. All of that and 4 waters, so Velcro and the rest of the fabric we needed was like 36 bucks. Are you alive?
Yeah, I'm alive. Got them all tied in.
You did a good job. Looks great. Come on out.
Ow!
With the Velcro of the long sofa done, I decided to move on to this nightmare of a chair. I was originally going to make a slipcover and then realized there was too many creases and it would just look silly, so I sewed each panel on by hand, which was much easier on this chair than the 2 captain's seats for the driver and passenger because they were a pleather fabric. It was much harder to sew into. I had decided to make seams in it and stitches to attach it to the chair in other places, so that way it would hold better and not shift with weight of people sitting on it. So that was me doing it here, and then I carried on and finished it up, and I'm super happy with the way it turned out. All of the fabric I got was from the Lens Mill store in Barrie, and it was all super cheap. I think in total I ended up spending maybe $200 for all of the fabric I got, including the curtain fabric.
Okay, my fingers are raw, and I've almost got all of the chairs done. Just have to do the armrests, and yes, it is patchy because I am not about to spend more money on more fabric. But I like it, and that's all that matters. And there we are at the end of another week. All right, it's hot as hell. So I'm in my swimsuit top today. Here it is. We have finished. It has been gutted and redone. Everything has been reupholstered, as you've seen in my torturous videos. Here we go. Our new home. Our new fun solar lights that we hung, just in case we're in places that we don't have a hookup, or in case we want to hold on to our gas so we don't have to use our generator. Kitchen. And then I got a new mattress, which is actually a lot nicer than I was expecting it to be. Our bathroom, our new faucets, another one of our solar lights because it's so dark in here. I put in a new shower head, which I'm quite excited about. It wasn't for an RV, so it came with a wall mount that was magnetic, which I've kept just in case I decide to take it out and use it in our house when it gets done. Toilet is the same old toilet, nothing exciting there. And then my very exciting new mattress, organic cotton. And yeah, we're all done in here. And our little TV over there. We got an air conditioner up here. That's it. So excited it's over and it's done. And now I can stop painting things. Anyways, guys, it's the dirty blonde, and I will see you guys again soon with our next video. Bye, thanks for watching.